So I've been working on some wine tongs, mainly for my dear friends slash family, Lori and Scott Rogers, back in Washington State. This pair is almost done, and I've got this other one here which I already put a twist on the end, on the handle ends, and so I'll finish that one out in this video. I decided to use medium carbon steel for these. In the past, I've used mild steel. Both have their pluses and minuses. The reason I avoided medium carbon or any kind of higher carbon steel is because the ends of the port tongs, the wine tongs, is going to be repeatedly heated and cooled. And so I don't want that to crack, but as long as it's not quenched, then you shouldn't have that problem. I also have customer David Aruda Jr. wanting a pair of port tongs, and so I want to say if anyone else is interested in getting a pair of these, just let me know. The only caveat that I want to add is that when you rapidly heat and cool glass, it could become potentially dangerous. It's also a good idea to maybe practice on empty bottles before you use a fine bottle of wine, and maybe you crack it in a way that's not desirable. Though I will say that for me, for the few times that I've done this, the process has been pretty repeatable. The results have been pretty successful. I've been using this hammer more and more, and this handle was shaped for me by a friend, and I just really like it, and I'll go into more depth about this in an upcoming video. I should change my channel name to Hairy Leg Forgings. I need to give a shout out to Ron Thacker and Stephen Watkins for their most recent generous donations. I also need to recognize Dave Rora for increasing his Patreon amount, and Danny Yoshimura for becoming my latest Patreon supporter. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping to keep the channel alive. I'm so choked up on this hammer, but it just feels so comfortable, especially working on a smaller diameter piece like this. When I made my larger, almost 4-pound hammer, I showed my YK30 steel hammer, the 2-pounder, which is about the same weight as this hammer here, and I'm going to handle that one, I think, exactly like this one, or at least I'm going to try. I'm going to use 7mm rod for the rivet, and so I drift the holes to approximately that size. The back and the front ends of the jaws should make contact with the bottleneck at approximately the same time, and so that's why I'm doing this little bit of an adjustment here. After the halves are joined together, then I'll finish that out, get that tightened up. You can do whatever you want on the handle ends. I like that simple twist more than this one here. I got a little bit funky on that one there. Anyway, I'm not showing that because it's not vital for the use of this tong. I find the depth of this swage almost perfect to back up this rivet. Each wine bottle neck is slightly different, and the tong doesn't have to close completely around the neck, but it should be close. But if it's off just a little bit, then you just need to rotate slightly as you're heating. We don't need a ton of material on the jaw ends, so I'll grind them, clean them up a bit, and thin them out some. I'm easing and rounding the edges some, and that should help prevent cracking. So these two tongs are basically done, and I'll give them a try. I'll use this empty bottle here and see how it works. Some people use a feather dipped in ice water. I just use an ice cube. I can't tell you what exact heat to heat to, but if the ends are glowing, that's plenty hot enough, and you want to probably back it off. Wait until it cools down to a black heat before applying to the neck of the bottle. Depending on your heating source, you want to do some trial and error with this to get the right temperature and for how long you should apply it to the neck. This message is for Scott Rogers, my brother. Please try this out on a cheap bottle of wine first, or something empty like this, before you move on to one of your expensive bottles. You have been warned. If you do rotate, you want to make sure that you stay within the same plane. Also, I seem to prefer to hold it onto the bottle for about 30 seconds or so. A real nice cut, and this glass is much thicker than I thought. I held the bottle at a slight angle, but you want to make sure you're holding it vertically if it's full. You might want to strain the wine through cheesecloth just to make double sure there's no glass. I haven't done my brass brush treatment in a while, so I'll do that for these. Even cold, this does apply pretty well, but it would be even a little bit better and more pronounced if the pieces were warm. Well, there you are. If you're someone who wants to try this out, to make a pair of these or to just use a pair of these, I hope they work well for you. Beyond being a novelty, it does have practical purposes, though I guess it does make a really interesting party trick. Got a lot more fooling around to do.